Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to our eighth Obelisk update video. I know it's been a couple of days since our last video, but rest assured, we've been so busy cooking so many different things, and we're going to go over a couple of different projects we've done and what we have planned into the future. As you can see, I have a couple of tabs here open, some cool stuff. So first of all, just to make sure, guys, please follow us on X, the Obelisk AI, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. First of all, let's get into the code. So this is our main repo here for Obelisk. Been working a lot on it the past week. Hasn't seen too many PRs, but let me just go over exactly what we've done. Let's look at the closed ones. So since 5 days ago, right about here, we've started stabilizing our Clanker V1.2 Autotrader. There's been a couple of bugs and issues with a couple of extra options that we've added, and we also added just essentially optimizing the UI a little bit, doing some. There's a couple of fixes, and one major thing we've added a total makers filter for a Clanker summer, which is really important to filter out some of these smaller rugs, and also we added claw balls. So Clawballs was our agent that we kind of wanted to do a nice UI for it. This is the website, and it's just a basic agent in the actual Obelisk workflow. I'll show you guys in a minute, but the website is cool, has a nice terminal, a live chat where you can talk with each other. You can create a profile, have a holders where it tracks the holders. It's a nice little just UI. We wanted to do something with cool UI. Showcase, this is actually written in Vite. Usually we do everything in Next.js. It's still React, but this one is Vite. Well, just a little bit sleeker, a little bit different. Just still a couple of mini bugs here, but overall, we just really enjoyed this UI for Clawball. So we did a little bit of a nice agent. Clawball. After this, we continue to work and refine our auto-trade agent. So let me get right back to here. So this is our kind of current version right now. V1.2 is pretty stable. It is profitable. There's a couple of different changes I want to just quickly go over here. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but essentially, the Clanker launch summary has a couple of additional parameter. Max positions already was included, but now we have a mint makers amount. So this is the minimum amount of unique makers before it will even consider a token to be passed to be bought. So this is very important. You can set it as well in the trade dashboard for deep entry, which we'll show you guys in a minute. But for now, yeah, we've did add this. It's a minimum maker amount, which really separates a lot of these rugs, and this allows you to purchase a higher amount. So essentially here we added a default amount in ETH, which specifies if the model doesn't really return an amount, it also allows you to set a default amount. If you want to increase the amount, you can specify in the prompt, but you can also increase it in this variable, which we again exposed in our deep entry dashboard, which essentially has this latest workflow. If you guys don't want to worry about setting all this up, you can use our deep entry trade dashboard. And here it just hooks up to your Telegram bot and chat ID as usual. Everything here remains the same. As you can see, this loop here executes very frequently. We've done it so that your back checker works every 4 seconds. It will go ahead and, yep, I'm going to zoom out here. Yeah, every 4 seconds, it will just check your bags for profit or stop loss, and also a sell timer. So 60-minute sell timer here. It is configurable. So again, in the trade dashboard, I'll show you in a minute, you configure all of these parameters. So this is how long to wait before selling the position if it doesn't hit profit target or stop loss. In this case, 60 minutes. It seems to work pretty well. These are the settings that we are currently using, and it seems to be profitable. Again, the problem is it doesn't detect as many opportunities. You might want to relax it a little bit. For example, 20 makers, I believe, is what we're using for min makers. But you might want to relax it a little bit more, or maybe look at volume, a little bit less volume. So we're doing 0.3 ETH. Yeah, this is just some fine-tuning stuff, but overall, we notice that Clanker can be profitable. There's just not as many opportunities as you think. So these are the two workflows, and then out of that, we have just the HTTP flow here. So that's basically it. I just have it running in the background, but you can just stop it like this. Now, this Clawballs agent, I'll just show you guys really quickly. It is a very simple agent. I did a basic memory. There was no big difference in here. It's just a simple HTTP agent with some memory. But the only main difference was that we are using an HTTP now for doing the chats, and it's doing chatting to multiple users, not just one user like our previous ones for Sora or Aria, the waifu one. Very similar, but yeah. So that's just about for our agents. Now, we're still continuing to work on this V1.2 agent. We want you guys to test it more. And let me show you guys right in here in the dashboard. So this is our latest one. We have V1.2. It's powered by Mistral AI. So one more thing, as I mentioned before, we did finally moving. So see, we have an inference config. Now it goes to router.theobelisk.ai. So this is our different routing service that we've created to essentially inference to different agents. Underneath the hood, we're running different agents. The default agent is this AutoTrader agent. But in our case, the clawballs, essentially what changes in this case was that it was using an inference config and it was using the clawballs agent here in this case. You can see. So the agent ID is clawballs and it helps change the character. So you can modify a different agent and it all goes through our router servers. So that's kind of a little bit about this. But anyway, now we've added Mistral AI as the underneath model, which is a lot smarter than what we were hosting, just a local Qwen 3 model. This is much more powerful. So if you want to deploy this, first you need to connect your wallet, and then you just click deploy. And now here you put your swap private key as before. The blockchain service API key, leave this as normal. This is just our internal blockchain service we created for you guys, so you don't have to deal with any of this stuff. Telegram chat ID and bot token as before. Nothing changes here. Now go to the advanced tab. For the sell timer minutes, you can expand here to see what it means. This just means how long is it gonna wait before selling the position if it doesn't hit profit target or stop loss. We gave you 20 and 10%. Recommend setting this maybe to 50%, or I'll do maybe like 20%. You can even get away with 40%. Profit target, you can even aim for 80%, something higher. It just, you want to fine tune this kind of to your strategy. Max position, this is how many positions you want to hold at the same time. If you have a good amount, you get 5, 10, doesn't matter too much. It's just for convenience. If you don't want it to just keep opening positions, you can set a max position. You can set it to 0. This means no limit. Rebuy cooldown minutes, how long to wait before rebuying the same token. We don't want to give tokens volume. This is not a volume bot. So in this case, if you make a profit, for example, do you want to wait right away to rebuy it? We set it to 30 minutes minimum. After 30 minutes, this token will be eligible to be rebought again if it meets the criteria you define in the system prompt. For the default amount ETH, this is how much amount you want the model to buy by default. It helps to guide it as well as the prompt. You want these two to match. So if you want to do a higher amount, you would just adjust the prompt here to increase the buy amount. So these range here, you would just increase it to match, and the default, you can set it to anything. We set it in between the range here. And the minimum amount of makers, this is the minimum amount of unique makers that happened in the past 24 hours. It tracks unique makers over the past 24 hours. So once a token launches, we want at least 20 unique makers. And yeah, right now a microbyte is technically my count as a unique maker. In the future, if this becomes an issue, we can include a min makers and also a min maker amount, for example, to filter this stuff out. But for now, just a simple min makers, nice and clean. And that's about it for this, guys. You can go ahead and launch this, and you'll get all the trade notifications and the holdings. Right for you guys, and you can click sell all bags if you want to. And I'd recommend just using Phantom and just setting up a wallet in Phantom and using that swipe private key so that at any time you can do manually swaps and anything. One suggestion is it doesn't unwrap your ETH. So there's one thing, sometimes it'll get stuck in a path where it will not be able to, it will not have any Ethereum and it won't unwrap it. So we did add a check here to make sure to unwrap ETH if it needs some. If it has below this amount, it will unwrap ETH automatically. But in case it doesn't trigger, you might have to manually just look at it. If you see if it doesn't have any ETH but it has WETH, just unwrap it and it will instantly start working again. You don't need to restart the bot. Okay, that's about it for our Obelisk agent. And the last part I wanted to mention is the next thing. So we're also working on some memes. Obviously, if you guys have been following on the Cabal, we have been cooking up some funny memes, and we really enjoy it. This is one of our favorites. We've been sharing this in our Telegram groups. Hilarious meme. Hey guys, last thing I wanted to mention and not go over in too much detail is just our Polymarket bot that we're also working on, because there's a lot of hype in 5-minute BTC Polymarket markets right now, and we're working on a model to automatically trade those BTC 5-minute markets through a probability distribution surface modeling style approach. So we're trying to do probability arbitrage in a way. What this shows you guys is we have our, first of all, these dots, we have a 3-dimensional space. We have the time distance from the price to beat. We have the time remaining, so everything moves in from time remaining in these lines from forwards to backwards, because it starts at 5 minutes and it goes back to 0 time remaining. And then you have the probability of finishing above the price to beat. So, and then we have these data points, which are the actual markets, where they priced each probability and where they priced each exception probability of the market turning up or down at each point, multiple runs over and over. And as you can see, there's kind of this cool S shape, this 3D surface. And we created a model that's similar to this. It doesn't perfectly follow this shape, but it's similar. And pretty much the core idea, I'll just go over it briefly, is that we create this model, and once it detects that the price of the market, so the blue is our model's prediction, it follows the curve, and the yellow is the actual market's pricing. So the thing is, once we find a divergence, that means that we technically should see the market, we should expect it to converge back to our position. Or maybe when a divergence increases a bit much, we can use that as a signal to buy. So essentially, we're doing some sort of probability arbitrage, and we're still testing this out, but this is our next little bit of an initiative, and we would love to also open this up to you guys. Maybe do it as a deep entry V2 or something similar, or maybe even a new project. We're not sure yet. We're just still testing this out. We're building the trending engine. There's a lot of hype around this, and we're just trying to test out our model. So this is a very basic model. Again, we want to do this in more than 3 dimensions. This is just very, very basic. It looks okay. It's good enough for the time being. As you can see, there's quite a bit of divergence, a lot, and you see here the probability changes over time, and it's dependent on the distance from price to beat, because there's two variables here that change at all times. We have the time remaining that changes, and we have the distance from the price to beat. So we're only calculating it for a certain percentage. We're not really calculating it for everything. We're just calculating it for certain points. But yeah, but anyway, we get the surface, and we're still testing out this logic. I mean, the idea is it's still rough, but we kind of tried to do something with this Polymarkets trading and go with a probability approach, probability arbitrage approach. I hope that covers it. And one last thing, guys, just wanted to go over. We have some cool Cabal website updates. We're still working on refining some small things here and there, but we just redesigned the website to make it look a little bit faster. We're now only loading Cabal tokens. We're tracking volume a little bit better, and we're happy if you guys want to launch your own tokens. It's still not perfect. Still some images that need to propagate properly, just small bugs, but we would happy to support you guys if you want to launch your tokens. And yeah, it's very simple to deploy a token to the Cabal. Just hit deploy, use the preset V3 standard 1%, just like this. Use this preset, everything is filled for you. That's it. All you put is your name, token, image, banner. Go next. You can deploy it just like this. Just select the dev by amount. If you want to adjust it, 2, 3, show here how much percent you will get of the supply, and you can easily adjust the starting market cap, whatever you want, between 0.5 or 200 ETH, and then depending on the market cap, as you adjust your dev by amount, it will tell you exactly how much percent you want to get. So you want to get 2% at 5 ETH market cap, you would do a launch like this. Nice and easy. Again, just quickly, if you do want to do a custom deployment, you can do a custom setup here. Go Plus token or Cabal, doesn't matter. You can do a V4 deployment. And let's do for the V4 fee configuration, we'll do a 0% fee for this one. And let's do a custom hook. So we can do an auto buyback and burn hook, let's say with 1%. Set up like this. For the liquidity lock, and we could do Go Plus if you wanted to show lock it for 1 year. Decide on the starting market cap, let's say 2 ETH. Next. Get a supply, let's say you want 3%, 2% supply, something like this. Next, put a name, symbol, image, next, and just like this, you're pretty much ready to go. A nice simple this would be a nice V4 deployment with an auto buyback and burn. Just one example, you can also deploy your very own custom hook. If you guys want to bypass all sorts of platform fees, you could go a V4 hook, 0% fee. And here, just put a custom hook, whatever you want. The hook data, if you need on initialization, some hooks need some sort of initialization. You put a hook address, just like this. You bypass all of our pool fees. Because remember, the pool fees at 0, and all the fees go through your hook. So this would technically bypass all our platform fees. So again, this is an opportunity for you guys if you want to launch through our platform to use our lockers and use some of our contracts to do your own launch with some custom hooks. We're more than welcome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on X and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you guys in the next one. Peace.